What is going on, guys? Join us now as we dive into the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including yet another WWE star left injured, and what is really going on with Johnny Gargano. Road Dogg has been exposed, and this turns out to be a massive lie inside WWE. AJ Styles' son has signed with TNA. Watching WWE is about to get a whole lot pricier. And 3 years ago today, we tragically lost Bray Wyatt, plus so much more. Be sure to subscribe and smash that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and don't forget to follow us on. Now let's roll the intro and jump straight into our very first story. And it's bad news right out of the gate, as another WWE star has gone down injured. Our top story today uncovers yet another shocking WWE injury, as it's now confirmed that Matt Cardona has suffered a torn triceps. The former US champion broke the news himself on X, assuring fans he'll keep them posted throughout his injury and the recovery that follows. He wrote, "I wish my arm was this jacked. Unfortunately, it's just swollen because I tore my tricep in a match on Friday night. I still went to the gym today and did legs. I'll keep you updated. I'm not finished." This is devastating news, especially with Cardona seemingly heading into a mini TV feud with the Ring General Gunther. A torn triceps is a brutally serious injury, the very same one that's currently kept Logan Paul and Bronson Reed sidelined. Recovery time can vary wildly for this kind of injury, but at worst we could be looking at Cardona out for as long as 12 months. With Cardona out indefinitely, WWE is now forced to push other names into more active roles on Smackdown. Big names like Johnny Gargano and Ricky Saints may need to step up into major TV spots. It'll be fascinating to watch how WWE handles yet another blow to the main roster. And honestly, this couldn't come at a worse time for the Cardona family, with both husband and wife now sidelined by injury at once. But here's where things get murky. What is the real truth behind Johnny Gargano? Because right now there's a flood of conflicting reports swirling around his WWE status. Just yesterday, multiple sources claimed that Gargano had quietly changed his social media bios and was now accepting outside bookings, something strictly forbidden while under WWE contract. Naturally, this sparked instant panic among fans convinced Gargano had been released. But here's the twist. It turns out Gargano never changed his bios at all, and they've remained exactly the same since his WWE main roster debut years ago. On top of that, False Finish has reported that Gargano is still very much listed on WWE's internal roster and has not been released. But this is where things suddenly take a strange turn. The former Smackdown head writer, Road Dogg, suddenly took to Facebook and hinted that Gargano was no longer part of WWE, even posting a shocking AI-generated image of Gargano debuting at All In. He wrote something like, "Johnny was a hunter guy, but so was I. Times are changing. Time moves forward." Now it's entirely possible that Road Dogg actually does have some real insider knowledge about Gargano's situation. After all, he still keeps several contacts inside the company, so this honestly can't be completely ruled out. But the far more likely explanation is that Road Dogg simply came across the false reports circulating on X and decided to run with them anyway. While Gargano currently remains on the WWE roster, at least for now, Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer has reported that a batch of WWE contracts are due to expire this coming October. That same report also points out that most of those expiring contracts belong to names WWE hasn't been actively using on television. It's entirely possible this could apply to Gargano as well, given his current spot on Smackdown. Right now, he's essentially being paid a hefty sum just to sit around doing nothing. He hasn't wrestled on television in months, and honestly, it's fair to argue that keeping him around is pointless, since WWE clearly has no plans of putting him back in the ring. Moving on, Road Dogg has officially been called out. Speaking of Road Dogg, he found himself under some pretty serious fire last week after making a bold and controversial claim involving AEW and Tony Khan. The former WWE writer alleged that he was kept out of AEW because of his political views. Fans weren't buying it for a second, especially since Road Dogg has made a habit of trashing AEW at every opportunity, even once comparing their product to an indie promotion back in 2022. the trusted outlet Fightful Select reached out directly to sources within AEW regarding Road Dogg's accusation, and the claim was flatly denied. Someone from inside AEW told them plainly, "That's not why we passed on him. It simply wasn't on the table." Road Dogg's credibility had already taken a hit thanks to months of a weaker Smackdown product, plus a rather unflattering portrayal on WWE's Netflix series Unreal. It's a strange, almost reckless move for Road Dogg to make such a bold claim, especially one that could be so easily fact-checked and disproven. And now he's left with no leg to stand on, likely torching any future shot at working with the company again. Guess lies really do come back to bite you. Up next, a legend speaks out on the shocking release. AJ Styles never missed a chance to hype up Ilia Dragunov on his podcast. And now, the WWE Hall of Famer has finally addressed his release. Speaking on his podcast this morning, AJ revealed that he's genuinely upset about the situation and honestly has no idea what's really going on. "I know I'm really sad about this," he said. "I really enjoy his work. I don't know what's happening. I really can't say too much about it right now. Because honestly, you'd think I'd know, working for the company the way I do. But my role these days is really more about the coaching side, helping out the talent in little ways, trying to help build a stronger foundation for guys like him and the rest of the younger roster coming up. So honestly, I don't know what's really going on," he admitted. "I just know, holy crap, that's about all I can say. And sadly, fans will never get to witness Dragunov versus AJ inside a WWE ring. With AJ now fully retired and Dragunov released, this is a dream match that'll sadly only ever exist in video game form." Next up, this is honestly a massive lie inside WWE. Former WWE champion Jinder Mahal has now cleared up a long-standing misconception surrounding what fans commonly refer to as WWE's 90-day non-compete clause. Talk around this rule resurfaced after Ilia Dragunov's exit from WWE, with fans wondering whether he'd be forced to sit out 90 days before signing with another promotion. But Mahal explained the situation actually plays out differently, depending on whether WWE terminates a contract or a wrestler simply lets their deal expire naturally. And according to Mahal, there's actually no real 90-day non-compete clause in the way most fans believe. Mahal took to TikTok to break it all down. "There is no such thing as a non-compete clause in WWE," he explained. Now this might sound confusing since everyone's heard about the so-called infamous 90-day non-compete. When you sign a WWE contract, it's written that WWE can terminate your deal with 90 days notice. So when you get that call, they're simply informing you that in 90 days your contract will officially end, and they will pay you fully for those 90 days. That distinction matters a lot, because if it were a true non-compete clause, you wouldn't be getting paid during that time. For those 90 days, you're technically still under WWE contract. Now, WWE will pull you from all their shows, television, live events, everything, purely for liability reasons. If you were to get injured during that time, they're on the hook for your surgery and your entire rehab. There's also risk in keeping someone on live television who already knows their deal is ending. They might start planning their next move or do something that doesn't align with WWE's brand. In my opinion, paying someone for those full 90 days is honestly a really generous gesture. It gives people time to reorganize their lives instead of making desperate or emotional decisions, and it genuinely protects both sides. Let me know what you all think. That distinction really matters here. WWE isn't instantly ending someone's deal and then blocking them from working elsewhere. The wrestler remains under WWE contract throughout those 90 days, but once that period wraps up, the contract officially ends and they're free to work anywhere they choose. Coming up next is the WWE boom period finally coming to an end. Smackdown last week turned out to be a huge win for WWE. The show pulled in the highest live attendance of 2026 so far for a Smackdown broadcast. And throughout the entire show, WWE made sure to highlight just how massive the crowd truly was. For maybe the first time all year in 2026, WWE actually had something real to brag about, as it's now been revealed that this show was the highest grossing event WWE has ever held in Toronto. The story comes straight from Fightful Select. who added that this news is actually being celebrated internally within WWE. WWE has reportedly been touting internally that Friday's Smackdown was the highest-grossing show they've ever run in Toronto. The Punk vs. Owens WWE title match clearly served as a massive draw for the company, and a few weeks of solid, consistent Smackdown episodes have clearly convinced fans to open up their wallets. It's honestly a simple formula for WWE, and one they've genuinely mastered over the past year or so. Fans are willing to spend when the product feels good and consistent, but the moment the product becomes weak or mediocre, attendance is going to drop fast. Really is basic economics at the end of the day, and hopefully this pushes WWE to invest even more effort into their weekly shows, especially the Blue brand, which has clearly taken a backseat to Raw ever since the Netflix deal. Also, just a heads up, Raw is airing 2 hours earlier than usual tonight, and they'll also be taping Smackdown right after, so brace yourselves for spoilers this week. Next up, AJ Styles' son officially signs with TNA. Avery Styles, the 19-year-old son of wrestling legend AJ Styles, has now officially signed with TNA Wrestling, kicking off his own journey with the very promotion that played such a massive role in shaping his father's career. Avery made the announcement during TNA's Lockdown pay-per-view last night, after being introduced by Gia Miller. He openly acknowledged just how important TNA was in turning AJ Styles into the legend he eventually became, and hinted that the company could now play a similarly vital role in shaping his own path forward. The announcement was then interrupted by veteran Frankie Kazarian, who reminisced about the tight bond he formed with AJ, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels back during TNA's early years. He warned Avery that carrying such a famous last name could actually make him a target backstage, and cautioned that there would be certain people he'd need to be careful trusting. What's genuinely cool here is that Avery debuted at the exact same pay-per-view his father did 21 years earlier, both being Lockdown events. This had to be an unforgettable moment, not just for Avery Styles, but for his father AJ watching on as well. Next up, a WWE star calls out scalpers. Once again, a WWE star has had to take to social media to publicly call out disturbing behavior from fans. According to Paige, a scalper was literally waiting for her the moment she stepped off her plane yesterday, holding 30 photos for her to sign. "Airport scalpers are getting out of hand," she said. "Someone was waiting for me right at my gate as I got off my connecting flight with like 30 pictures. I'm usually pretty easygoing about this stuff, but showing up at my actual gate is seriously creepy behavior. Please don't do that." This is deeply unsettling, especially given the very fair question of how exactly this scalper even knew which flight the former Divas champion would be on. Wrestlers being made to feel unsafe by fans and scalpers has sadly become far more common over the past few years, and we've even seen wrestlers surrounded in public with barely any security around them. When does this madness finally stop? Next up, who actually produced this WWE Classic? One of the standout matches of 2026 so far was Chad Gable versus Rey Mysterio on Raw. A ton of fans are labeling this Mysterio's best match in years, with some even calling it one of the greatest in-ring matches ever seen on the Red brand. And keep in mind, this is Mysterio at 51 years old. As for who actually produced the match, it turns out it was Bobby Roode and Michael Hayes, according to Fightful Select. Roode and Hayes traditionally handle production for PLE main events, and this duo is usually reserved specifically for Roman Reigns matches. That alone shows just how badly WWE wanted this match to shine on television. And honestly, it could have easily headlined a Raw or a future PLE if WWE had chosen to position it that way. Next up, watching WWE is about to get a lot more expensive. ESPN confirmed over the weekend that ESPN Unlimited, the streaming home for WWE PLEs, is getting a price hike starting September 17th. The monthly subscription is jumping from $29 to $31.99, while the annual plan climbs from $299 to $319.99. This is a bold move from the platform, especially considering the majority of WWE PLEs in 2026 honestly haven't delivered anything special, and whether they're worth a $30 price tag is a real point of debate. There's likely going to be a noticeable rise in fans turning to VPNs, Something we honestly encourage, since you'll get 75% off plus 3 extra months when signing up through the link in the description. This means fans could use their existing Netflix account to stream the PLE broadcasts instead. It goes without saying that paying $30 a month just to watch a single WWE PLE is incredibly steep, especially for fans who only use the platform for WWE content. Next up is WWE quietly burying a rising star. Our next story dives into growing fan concern that WWE is flat out burying Candice LeRae. Over the weekend, a stat began circulating on X revealing that this insanely talented star had only had just one, WWE main roster match in all of 2026. That's genuinely alarming, and it makes zero sense for WWE to have one of the best in-ring performers in the entire company under contract and simply not use her at all. There's growing speculation online that LeRae could walk away from the company once her contract expires. And honestly, that wouldn't be shocking since many wrestlers simply want to compete and perform at the highest level during their prime, something she clearly isn't being given the chance to do right now. And finally, 3 years ago, we lost Bray Wyatt. It's genuinely hard to believe it's already been 3 years since the wrestling world lost Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, who tragically passed away unexpectedly at just 36 years old, had his passing confirmed by WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque after being informed by Wyatt's father, Mike Rotunda. Obviously, losing any wrestler is heartbreaking, but losing Bray Wyatt hit differently for so many fans. Wyatt proved that professional wrestling could be so much more than just matches and championships. His incredible imagination allowed him to craft unforgettable characters, from the mysterious cult-like leader of the Wyatt family to the terrifying and deeply complex persona of the Fiend. Wyatt was never afraid to completely reinvent himself, even after achieving massive success with earlier gimmicks. His passion for storytelling inspired countless wrestlers to embrace creativity and individuality in their own careers. His legacy continues to inspire performers and fans alike to believe that being different can truly become your greatest strength. We miss you, Bray,